Hello everyone! Welcome back to this game! When we last left off, we have humbled an orc. He is hoping that he is able to turn over a new leaf. Now, before we move on to the next quest, I'm going to go ahead and check for updates here in town. I haven't seen any more of them monsters coming or going from the forest cave. Wonder what's become of them. Well, admittedly, we may or may not have killed some of them, but the orc is fine. I was up north hunting. Caught a couple rabbits and a coon. I am glad I am not a raccoon anymore. Although, in a way, being a pig is worse. Good thing I don't live on a farm. I ain't seen any monsters near town, 'cause I ain't ventured outside, and I prefer to keep it that way, too. Fair enough. Someone's got to get the crystals back, or Valencia will be overrun by monsters. Yeah, that is kind of important. Another person inside the tavern. Pizzas, waffle fries, and breadsticks may be helpful to your quest. They last longer than ales, juices, and potions. They're quite tasty too. I would not disagree with that. Alright, before we head further back into town, how about we check up on King Randolf King? And Thurlum is here right now. King Randolph is still reading Thurlum's ransom note. PSS. Don't send a diplomat to Caramond to ask for Lord Duffrey's help. He won't help you. He's busy practicing for the 11th annual archery tournament. He's also a snob. I know Lord Duffrey. I wouldn't say he's a snob. He's a bit eccentric. He's a snob, says Thurlum. Well, yeah, you're right. He can be a bit uppity sometimes, I guess. Most of the time from what I saw, says Thurlum. He dismissed the notion of a group of dragons raiding Lekunder as preposterous. Then he told me I was treading dirt on his brand new carpet. I mean, the polite thing to do would have been to wipe your feet. He said I'd have to pay for it to be cleaned. I told him to send the bill to King Rossdale. The dragon smirks mischievously. King Randolph chuckles. Smart move. Okay, I see your point. Lord Duffrey's a snob. Thurlum nods sagely. Caramond. Now there's a kingdom I will enjoy squashing after I have control of Lekunder. Lord Duffrey will pay for insulting me. Alright, but only smash the people who deserve it. Uh-oh. What did he say? He said I smelled like I've been living in a cave, answers Thurlum. And he said I was stinking up his fire. King Randolph blinks. I don't think you smell all that bad. I put on some Old Spice before the raid, says Thurlum. Lesson learned. Ah, I see. Yeah, when you're the ruler of a kingdom, you have to be presentable. Well, moving along here. PSS, don't send a diplomat to Arvindale to ask for King Rossdale's help. He currently has a bad case of gas. He's in no condition to help. Winces. Nasty. Thanks for the heads up. I definitely won't be sending any couriers there until the air clears a bit. That would be my advice, says the dragon with a nod. He turns his reptilian gaze on the group with an amused look. Back so soon? That little quest didn't last very long. I'm not surprised. I'm just checking in on Dad to see how he's doing. I'll deal with you in good time, you big meanie. Thurlum chuckles in amusement. I look forward to it. And you're gonna need more than deodorant to protect you. Kinda think of it. Do dragons sweat? I mean, yeah, I used to be a raccoon dragon, but, I was mostly raccoon, so couldn't tell you. Thurlum lifts his claws in a menacing gesture. How about these razor-sharp talons? Fearful look. Yeah, those'll do the trick. You've got me convinced. Thurlum leans towards Fibs with a menacing growl. Eek! Hides behind Jareth. Thurlum withdraws, snickering with dragon laughter. I love this guy! He's so easy to intimidate. And this guy waves his hand in front of his nose. Whoa! Take a breath mint or something, bud. I almost keeled over from that nasty growl. Huh. So I guess Thurlum does need more than deodorant. Jokes work better when you don't stumble over your words. Thurlum frowns. What are you talking about? I just had a breath mint before the raid. Smirks. Well, you could use another one. Or two. Jareth, cut that out. He turns to Thurlum. He's just harassing you. Your breath is fine. Oh, says Thurlum. I see. He flashes Jareth a sour look. And Jareth grins. Kristana and friends, Thurlum has been kind enough to not eat us all or violently tear us to shreds. I suggest we extend him a little courtesy in return. Oh yeah, I guess that's fair. Thurlum gives the group a charismatic grin. Humph. This isn't over, Thurlum. Not by a long shot. Come on, guys, let's go. I'll be back later, Dad. Have fun, says Thurlum with an amused look and a wave of his claw. Now, where was I? Let's see. PSS, don't send a diplomat to the land of Dunzar to ask for their help. They won't help you. I already checked. Oh, we saw this one during the opening. Wait a minute. I already read that one. Oh, so did he. Egad, I've lost my place. How unfortunate. Well, buys us some time. Please don't bug me, Kristana. I'm reading Thurlum's note. Yeah, have fun with that. Nice to see those two getting along, by the way. Alright, this house is an optional thing we can do, but not right now, because we don't have the stuff for it. Triska's house. You're just a fortune teller, but do you see anything useful? Hello, Kristana, would you... oh... My controller's doing the thing again. Alright, take two. Hello, Kristana. Would you like to see the future? Sure. Triska peers into her crystal ball. When you enter the ruins of Kemdar, stay at the Prancing Unicorn Inn first. There's something very helpful there. Well, the ruins of Kemdar is our next destination, so yes, that actually is very useful information. And I think I remember what is at the inn as well. It'll actually be pretty useful. Visit Ormig's blacksmith shop last. Going out of your way to look for treasures will be very helpful. I wonder if that is where the Manticore hangs out. From here, we're heading into Kristana's house to check on her journal, because I'm kind of curious about something. Find Delrath the Manticore in the ruins of Kemdar, south of town. Ask him where the dragons are. Well, first things first, making note, we're heading south. Still need to find Wefko's lost password note. I think I remember where the Thieves' Hall is, but there's no reason to go there until we get the password. Oh, by the way, once we find the note, we can use the password ourselves. Alright, the thing I was curious about is whether we would be given advice to bring these berries that we previously acquired to Daktar to make some potions. But nope. We just need to make sure we remember that. I guess it doesn't technically count as a quest. It's more of an alternate type of shop. So, by the way, a little bit of technical stuff right now. Let's see, Jagbo berries and Brofa leaf. These are key items. RPG Maker 3 does not allow you to carry more than one of the same type of key item. But we will be finding more Jagbo berries and Brova leaves, as well as other potion items. To get around this, this game is internally keeping track of the amount of these that we have. Each amount is being stored as a variable. So, the way this works is, as soon as we talk to Daktar, first it's going to check if we have any of those items at all, in which case she says, I see you brought some potion ingredients. From there, it checks how many of each item we actually have. Now, the thing about dialogue in RPG Maker 3 is, it cannot display a variable in text. So there has to be a message for every single possible amount of these that we have. She could say, you have enough to make 1 potion, you have enough to make 2 potions, you have enough to make 3 potions, and so forth. In this case, you have enough Jagbo berries to make 1 potion, and you have enough Brofa leaves to make 1 potion. From here, it asks if we want to make a potion. Sure. And we get a full set of options, including for the items that we don't actually have. This is because if you thought it was messy to have a message for every possible amount of each of these items, imagine how messy it would be to have a different menu for every possible combination of items that we might have. It's much better and much easier to just show the full list of items and then give an error message if you try choosing an item that you don't have. Alternatively, can we hit the cancel button? Nope, that is not an option. No cancel button. I can't remember if RPG Maker 3 even offers a cancel button for custom menus like this. Now, as for why we're given the options in the first place, as opposed to just making the potions automatically, is because we have a limited inventory space, and sometimes you don't want to fill that space up too quickly. I will, however, go ahead and get these items. Well, at the very least, we are given the option of whether to make these potions or not before this menu pops up. So, the Jackbow Elixir heals 25 HP, which is pretty nice. And the Burfa Elixir is a magic recovery potion, recovers 25 MP. I'm gonna go ahead and sell them both. It's a very useful item, don't get me wrong, but at the start of the game, I bought some items, used up all of my money right at the start of the game, but after going through the first dungeon, it occurs to me that I didn't necessarily need to do that. The dungeons are actually providing enough items on their own, at least so far, so I'm gonna go ahead and get some money back so that perhaps I can afford some equipment. Well, not getting much money back, but every little bit helps. Alright, we have 102 gold. I'm going to need 12 gold to stay at the inn. I'll save that for last. For now, I'm gonna see what weapons I can possibly get here. First, I want to buy something for Kristana. Since she is the neutral party member, she'll be able to take advantage of a stronger weapon more often. Well, first things first, can't afford a lot of this stuff. We can afford the Russian axe, but because we can afford it, it's listed in red to show that Kristana cannot equip it. I'm glad at the very least that equipment shops display that information. So let's go ahead and buy a short sword for Kristana. Oh, her inventory is full. Let me go ahead and shuffle some items around. Alright, now we buy the short sword. We cannot immediately equip it in the shop. We'll have to do that manually. So, the short sword is going to be not necessarily a huge boost to attack power, but it does affect both her physical and magical attacks, so that's useful. And we'll sell the small sword. Which is 13 gold. Unfortunately, we're a bit short on change right now, so I'm not going to be able to afford to buy anything else in the shop. But there is one other shop that I haven't actually went into yet. Let me go ahead and head in there real quick. And by the way, immediately to the left is the church, with a second entrance to it. That entrance doesn't actually do anything, it is purely aesthetic. Bows and daggers. How expensive is your stuff? Don't matter who I choose, I just look at the prices. Expensive. How about stuff in the armory? Can we at least buy something to buff our defenses? Nope. Well, I guess all that's left to do then is to stay at the inn and recover my health and MP. Well, we'll probably get plenty of money out of the next dungeon. Although if I went exploring on the world map, that would give me the opportunity to find some treasure chests to get some better gear. By the way, these two are not saying anything new. Now, the question is, do I want to take the time to explore around the world map to find some money? I do still need to stay at the inn to recover my health, so I gotta keep that in mind. By the way, can I just say how nice RPG Maker 3's world maps look? Like, scope out that draw distance. That's actually pretty impressive for the PlayStation 2, especially considering the fact that the world maps in RPG Maker 3 are user-created. So it's gotta render the map on the fly. Granted, there is a little bit of cheating going on with the rendering. All the trees are actually 2D sprites. That definitely cuts down on the processing requirement. Still though, this is pretty nice. It's just a shame that the world map editor kinda sucks. In order to create these luscious rolling landscapes, you need to literally draw the map. Basically on a tool that is MS Paint. In fact, here, let me go ahead and exit the game and I'll show you what that actually looks like. This is actually something that you can do in RPG Maker 3. Games are not encrypted or password protected, so you can go right into these to edit them. So, this is the world map. So, yeah, I was not exactly exaggerating when I said basically MS Paint. You'd like draw a path like that, and we can also draw a box like so. Get that filled. And in regards to land elevation, that is handled by V mode. From here, you can just... This will make a mound here, and you can make more mounds. There's a mound. You cannot raise land elevation where you have drawn water, which is why I was only able to raise land right here, because I drew land as opposed to water right here. And trying to get this looking right using a 2D editor, extremely difficult, requires a lot of trial and error. So, I gotta give mad props to anybody who is actually able to make a nice looking world map using that editor. Like this world map, for example. This is definitely a nice world map. Alright, I just checked around off camera, and the treasures that are out here are all items, no money in them. So I've reloaded my save and we'll get them later. And that's okay. I'm sure that we'll be finding plenty of treasures in the next dungeon. And we'll be entering this dungeon over here next time. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Oink!